when I made that video where I was talking about whether I think hauls have any integrity or whether we should even make haul videos at all? I was kind of in a haul slump then. I didn't really want to make any book hauls, but now I've remembered that I really enjoy making them, which means I've had a lot of books build up that I haven't hauled, which means it's time to do some catch-up hauls. Should have already had a physical haul go up with the ebooks and review copies that I need to start catching up on. So we're gonna do that. I've acquired a lot of books and I'm gonna keep acquiring a lot of books. So we're gonna do 10 books a haul and hope that goes okay. I'm gonna kick it off with the Christmas books, and I have The Girl Who Saved Christmas by Matt Haig. I read The Humans by Matt Haig earlier in the year over summer, and I didn't enjoy it that much, but I've heard much better things about his Christmas books. I know he did one last year called The Boy Who Saved Christmas, and this is about a girl named Amelia who wants to track down Father Christmas because she has a big wish that she wants to be fulfilled. But Father Christmas has bigger things to worry about. The elves aren't happy and the reindeer are falling out of the sky, and Christmas might get cancelled. Like, legit, Christmas might be cancelled. But as the title may suggest, Amelia is gonna be the girl that helps to save Christmas. I'm hoping this one will be a nice, quick Christmas read. I'm very much into theming my reading around what I'm doing, and I think it would be weird to read a Christmas book not around Christmas, so I want to get to it soon. Next up is the 12 Days of Dash and Lily by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan. I've never read anything by David Levithan. I'm sorry. These two authors have collaborated a lot, probably most famously in Nick Nor's Infinite Playlist. This book follows Dash and Lily, who have been dating for a year now. But Lily's grandfather falls ill, and it really takes its toll on her family, but her specifically, it really takes a massive toll on her. She's fallen out of love in life, and she's just kind of down and sad. So Dash decides that this simply won't do, teams up with Lily's brother and a bunch of their friends, and has the 12 Days of Dash and Lily. Not sure if I'll be able to get to this one as well around Christmas, but if not, it will do for next year. Moving a season previous, I have Autumn by Ali Smith, and there has been so much hype around this book. I mean, it's an Ali Smith book, so of course there would be. As far as I know, Autumn is a book that explores the relationship and friendship between a man who is a century old and a young woman who was born in the mid-80s. It's a book about generational conflicts and a divided Britain. It is very influenced by Brexit. I'm looking forward to getting to this one. As it's an Ali Smith book, I'm sure it will be slightly experimental as well, which I'm really looking forward to delving into. Next I have a YA book, and it is The One Memory of Flora Banks by Emily Barr. This is about a girl who suffers from memory loss. She cannot remember anything. She can't remember anything since she was 10 years old, until she kisses this boy. So if this guy is the one thing she's been able to remember, he must be pretty significant. Let me know if you've read this book down in the comments, because I'm a little bit uncertain about it. The premise doesn't sound brilliant to me. I think it's just young adult romances, and me haven't really got on very well over the past few months. So do let me know if you've read it and you have any thoughts on it. Next up, I have The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This book sounds fascinating. It is set in the wilderness of northern Russia, which is a setting that I've never experienced in fiction before. A mysterious man with piercing blue eyes arrives and gives a new father a gift. It is a precious jewel on a delicate chain, and the purpose of this is that the father will give this to his daughter. The father hides this gift away, but when his daughter grows up, the safety of the village is threatened, and it turns out she might be the one to save them all and bring happiness to the village again. I've really wanted a book where it's the young female protagonist saving things, but not in the same way that it happens in like The Hunger Games or the Red Queen series or Throne of Glass. I really wanted something that was a bit more literary. Just said something a bit different than that typical girl knows how to fight thing. There's more to being strong and tough than physical strength, kids. Next up, I have Homegoing by Ya Gessi. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm sorry if I've butchered it. This is a book that spans 3 continents and 7 generations, and that sounds epic. I have heard so many fantastic reviews of this book. It's like everyone that reads it loves it. It is an own voices book, and it talks a lot about what it's like to be African and what it's like to be African American. And one of my reading resolutions for 2017, spoilers for that video, is that I want to read more own voices books because I think it's really important. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to picking up Homegoing. Next, I have another book that has received a lot of praise on BookTube, and that is The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. This is a historical novel set in the 1890s. This is about a woman who has recently become widowed and realised that she wasn't at all happy in her marriage. She and her son move to Essex for a new start to the fresh air. They begin to build their home in Colchester, which is where one of my aunts lives. And rumours start to spread of the Essex Serpent. A lot of the local people think this is a magical, mythical being, but Cora, being somewhat of a naturalist, thinks that it's just an undiscovered species, which, you know, is exciting enough. She ends up striking up quite an intense relationship with the local vicar, Will, and they end up changing their lives in really unexpected ways. Next, I have some non-fiction books, and the first of those is Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. I mentioned this book in my non-fiction November MBR, which just didn't happen. You may know Trevor Noah as the fantastic host of The Daily Show, and this is the story of his upbringing. He spent a lot of his childhood hidden away because he was mixed race. And in South Africa at the time, that was just, you didn't want to be mixed race. Created a lot of difficulty. Difficulty, probably an understatement. The next book is one you've probably heard a lot about, and that is Another Day in the Death of America by Gary Young. This book is really, really important and is about gun crime in America. Gary Young is a journalist, and he decided to select a random day and look into all of the incidents of gun crime that occurred on that day. 10 children were shot dead on that day, and this book is telling their stories. It's a really, really important book, and if you've not looked into getting it yet, I would highly recommend you do. I just think it's so important, and it's an issue that I know too little about, to be honest. Next, I have what I think is a collection of short stories, and that is Difficult Women by Roxane Gay. You probably know Roxane Gay as the writer of Bad Feminist. It features a range of different women from different levels of privilege and poverty, of age, of race. I think two of the stories that are mentioned in the blurb that I'm most interested in is a woman who is married to a twin and pretends that she doesn't realise when her husband and his twin are swapping places, and the story of a young woman who is putting herself through college by being a stripper. The latter of which is something I'm just really, really interested in, and the former is something that I've never read anything like before. I'm really looking forward to reading those two stories in particular and seeing what all the other ones are about as well. So they are all the books that I'm going to talk about today. Do let me know if you have any thoughts on them, if you've read any of them, which ones should I get to really, really soon. Are there any that you are really excited to get your hands on as well? Anyways, I hope you're well, and I will see you guys in a few days.